Outside the Box Reviews, Predator Week continues, and today we're looking at the NECA Predator Wave 14, Alien vs. Predator, Scar Predator. This is the unmasked version of Scar, the only unmasked Predator in this wave, but it seems appropriate since he's the only one of the three that takes his mask off in the film. And just to say up front, I went a little more in depth with the detail on the body of the Celtic Predator, which is similarly shared between the three Predators in this line. So if you want more in depth on that, go check out that review as well. But I'm going to touch on all the different parts to make this one unique, and we'll start off and jump right in and take a look at his accessories. We get a lot of similar accessories here with Scar that we got with Celtic. We have the shuriken again, very nicely sculpted. We got the kind of goldish brown detailing there in the middle. Overall, a very nice looking piece, and Scar comes with a hand that will hold it. We also get the Ceremonial Dagger, same sculpt again, nice silver blade with the slit down the middle of it, coppery color there on the hilt along with some black and the little tooth on the back. He also has the holster on his leg for this. And then a unique piece, kind of, is the combi stick, showing a lot of the same sculpted detail, all the little intricate details here in the middle, up here in the midsection, the ornate little tip there at the end. But this one is retracted. Scar has a clip here on his back, and you can just snap the combi stick right on there for easy storage, which I think is spectacular. I always love it when a figure can hold his accessories rather than you having to put them on the shelf next to him or in a box or something. Taking a look at Scar's head, he is one ugly mother. Yeah, we'd all know the line. But I think NECA did a pretty good job with this sculpt. I think the paint overall is pretty solid as well. I really like that they gave this design of Scar the big wide open mandibles, because to me this is very AVP. Actually, looking at the behind the scenes of AVP, I know they added a lot more articulation to the faces of their puppets for the Predators, and one of the things I think Disney went overboard with were the mouths. I think they had way more of a range of motion than they ever had before and kind of looks goofy, and NECA definitely captured that here. So I think that was kind of intentional to make it look very movie specific. So I appreciate it in that respect for sure. There's some really good paint on the inside of his mouth, nice reds mixed with some dark colors in there to shade everything up. One gripe I do have, and it's really minor, is that he has green eyes with black pupils, and in the film you do get a pretty good look at his eyes, and they're fairly human looking, to be quite honest. I think they were actually like hazel or something like that. But you know what? If you're going to improve the alien design, make him look a little more extraterrestrial than human, I'm not too opposed to giving him bright green eyes. We also do get the scar for which he was named there on his head. Looks pretty good in the little red plastic there. It's a little dull, but it kind of is in the film as well. And we do get all the appropriate dots and everything all over his head. I really like the kind of slimy, scaly look here. Some great sculpted detail you can see if I take the light away a little bit and to get rid of the highlight there. A lot of nice bumps and wrinkles in there. Looking really nice. Take a look at the side of his head. You can kind of see all the little wrinkles and stuff as well on the side of his jaws. With a big plume of dreadlocks here. I already mentioned with Celtic, these side ones I don't think are actually movie accurate, but I like them. And a big giant clump of them going down the rest of his head. We do have the removable plasma caster back here. Scar does have, I believe, the largest of the three plasma casters, and that's removable as well. Looks really nice. Has that great silvery look with some black wash over top of it. We even have this little side piece sticking out of it, which looks really cool. And of course that will rotate there at the bottom, rotate in the middle, swivel up top, and then also slide on a track here so you can have it go forward or back. And the pack is removable. Upper body armor with the nice kind of mottled look. We have this bandolier of little skulls going across his chest. He has this kind of what I refer to as a spine piece on Celtic going down the back, but that also carries over to the front on this design, which is basically the same style of piece, a little differently sculpted. Mine bows out a little bit, but if you mess with the articulation, you can kind of flatten it back down. See all the really nicely sculpted and painted netting and skin texture underneath there. You have the rubberized shoulder armor with more detail underneath, and going down his arm to the gauntlet, which this version comes with the really huge extended claws, which is really cool. Each version of the Predator in this wave comes with a different length of claw. You can interchange them between whichever one you want. Very similar to how the NECA did the Predators line, and I really dig the giant badass ones here. We have an open hand here on his right, and we have a gripping hand here on his left. And speaking of left, going over to this gauntlet, we get some we did not get with Celtic. The wrist computer, looking really cool with a little hologram projector up top and this little dome looking piece. And then we'll actually flip open, revealing the rest of the computer. No Predator numerals counting down or anything, but I guess you really wouldn't have it in most circumstances. You have the little hologram projector inlaid in there as well. well. I just think this looks amazing. It's a metal rod going through the middle of here, so really all you have to worry about is the plastic itself breaking, and it feels fairly sturdy. I'm not super concerned this is going to break on me, which is a real plus. I really dig that they gave us this. The articulation isn't quite enough where he can look like he's punching in numbers. I think it still comes a little short of that, but with the double jointed elbows and improved articulation all around, you get pretty close, which isn't too shabby. Going down the rest of the body, we do have different pouches and shurikens placed around the belt here on Scar. Similar but not the same to Celtic. Same butt flap here, same loincloth, same in the front. Celtic had leg armor just on his right leg. Scar has identical pieces of armor on either leg with a strap going around the legs there. More great painted and sculpted detail there in the upper legs. Then lower legs very similar, same big gauntlet-y boots, same sheath here on the side for the dagger, and the really nice looking feet with the big clawed toes and the spikes coming off the sides of the feet themselves. For articulation, exactly the same as Celtic. We do get a ball joint at the neck. Basically goes forward and back just a little bit, lacking a little range there. Can swivel side to side. I did have the plasma caster off when I did Celtic, and you can see it does kind of push up on the plasma caster when you turn all those big heavy dreads. So that could be a bit of a problem. Could also tilt side to side there. Pin socket arms, they will go forward, back, as well as out to the side. Bicep swivel. Double joint there at the elbow, swivel at the gauntlet, ball joint there at the wrist, ball joint at the upper torso so you can go forward and back as well side to side and tilt. A little extra hindered here because he does have two armored bits, one in the front, one in the back, so you're contending with a little more material you're trying to get around. He also does have a waist rotation. It's actually a ball joint, will go forward, back a bit, tilt, all that good stuff. But once again, hard to get to because of the way the armor is on him. Legs, pin socket joints, they will go forward, back, as well as out to the side. Actually, just noticed back is a little harder than it is on previous Predators because he doesn't have a rubber butt. I mean, it is rubberized, but it's not as loose and flimsy as some of the other Predators, so it's actually a bit of a downside here. Do have an upper thigh swivel, double jointed knee, really only bends 90 degrees, so you can swivel at the upper leg as well, and then a very nice ball joint there at the foot. Like I said before, you can't quite get him hitting the buttons on his wrist computer, but you get really close. The other thing I actually realized that's kind of a downside is you have to have his arms pretty high up to give him any eye line to his wrist computer, so that almost makes the articulation not worth it anyway. But despite ending here on something a little negative, absolutely love Scar. I think the sculpt and paint work on him is pretty spectacular. The eyes being the only thing, it's not even that I don't like in the paint, it's just that I noticed isn't 100% movie accurate, but I actually kind of prefer the green eyes. The articulation is so solid on these new Predator bodies. The overall design, I think, is just fantastic. I said it with Celtic, I'll say it here. NECA knocked it out of the park on these. So another very high recommend here for Scar. And if you're looking for an unmasked AVP Predator, seems like this is the only one you're gonna have for at least a little while, because Wave 15, I believe, is 3 masked Predators. Another Scar, and then 2 of the Temple Guard, or whatever the other Predators you see in that film are. So, you want an unmasked one, you better pick this guy up, because you're gonna have to wait to get another one. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, username Outside the Box Reviews. Also check me out on Facebook, link below. And until next time, this has been our Outside the Box Reviews, and Predator Week continues next.